Welcome back to my F125 driver career mode. This is part number 18 today for the Japanese Grand Prix of Season 2, round number 2. If you missed the previous episode at Australia, I can go and check one out before seeing this one. Because, spoiler, P4 for me in that race, which is a good result on my first race for Aston Martin. But of course, we've got to keep going. You know, not every Grand Prix is going to be as fortunate, get those overtakes. The upgrade I'd really like to put on the car is this tyre wear upgrade. But that's behind this major weight reduction upgrade, which costs 1,765 resource points. Very expensive, I only have 527. Also available is major engine power upgrade as well, which was sort of mid-table on engine power as well. So I'm going to save my resource points. We'll come back to this next week in Saudi Arabia. And then we'll have a look and see how much I've got left, if I can do anything. I suspect major engine power, but potentially. But other teams have been busy, as you can already see. Mercedes brought an upgrade to jump Williams as well, so their thing in the top 3 is gone. Haas and Alpine have also brought upgrades to close the gap on ourselves. Racing Bulls have also brought an upgrade to leave Audi in the mud. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at Suzuka. A bogey track for me, to be honest. Yes, I've very rarely done anything here. I think that I don't think I've ever, in a career mode, driver career mode race, I don't think I've ever won or even had a podium here. So yes, I have won here in other series, but not, not in a career mode, I don't think. But anyway, first lap was only good enough. Yes, that's right, P16, and my dreadful qualifying performances have continued into Season 2, as they usually do on the F1 game. But look at that now, 10th and a half, 2 tenths gains. We go then through into the middle sector. The first sector is where I lose the most time to the AI. I'm just atrocious compared to the AI. That's just how it is. Then we come up the hill. This used to be flat before this year's game, and much better now that it's more accurate. Gain massive traction out that corner compared to the AI. The low speed traction is still a big issue on this game, but I don't think they're going to do anything about it. Potentially, depending on, of course, their new contract for F126, if there is going to be an F126, we've already talked about that. Then, of course, we come to my favourite bit of the track, the run up to 130R. Look at that, 4.5 tenths gain on my previous best time down here. I have saved a bit of ERS to try and save this for the back end of the lap. Obviously, it's not deploy used is a bit of an issue here as well. And you can see there we're going to actually run out on the approach to the line. So I've lost a little bit, and it's a 3/10 improvement, ladies and gentlemen, which is only good enough for P16. Yeah, Norris is on pole by half a second. Leclerc has a penalty for impeding. I didn't see that, so I was not involved on that, so didn't see that. So yeah, we'll have to see what I can do from P16 on the grid. It's going to be a long afternoon. It's time for the race of today's Japanese Grand Prix. So we are down the grid. Race strategy is a one-stop, ladies and gentlemen, starting on the mediums. Now, the soft tyre is at play. Whether or not we do have high tyre wear, I don't know. That's why I'm playing it cautious and starting on the mediums. Everyone else seems to be on the softs around us, so it makes sense to do something opposite to them. 5 red lights then, and away we go. The Japanese Grand Prix, trying to get the jump on Stroll here. as well. Stroll goes to the inside, we're going to go to the outside. Colapinto decides to follow through. Round the outside I think that's Antonelli and Russell, both Mercedes driver, trying to get the outside moved on. I think that's Leclerc in the Ferrari, but unable to get Leclerc there, as we're watching a 3 wide moment behind me now between Ocon and the 2 Racing Bulls there, as Stroll gets in front of both Frenchmen there as well. Meanwhile, up the road, Albon is having to go round the outside of Tsunoda, and now there's contact, and Albon has lost his end plate there. With contact with Tsunoda, he's going to run wide and lose that position to Piastri. Here's a replay on board with Ocon, who is Behrman, who's forced wide, battles with Hamilton as well. Behrman as well had a good qualifying there. He is back down a few positions too, as well as being barged by George Russell into that corner. Yeah, no spatial awareness by the AI. I mean, I'm going wide. Where do you think I'm going to go there? That contact was unnecessary, really. But never mind. We're going to move back to my PV and get in front of Leclerc and Gasly in his dustbin up into the points. Next up will be Bortoletto. Can I get Bortoletto here around the outside? No, the Audi's got me on the traction there. Or rather the speed, as well. Here's a replay though. It's a double dive bomb into that corner, and now right behind Bortoletto in the Audi, yet to score points in this career mode. Down the inside at 130R, lovely little move up to P9. Seems the mediums on the mediums for me are working well. The mediums for Bortoletto not so much. And I do wonder if he's going to go to the hard tyres. How's the Audi got the worst tyre wear? Bear in mind he's up in P-Ip and the points in the slowest car. Up in the fastest car is leading the race, Norris, ahead of the 2 Red Bulls, but not for much longer, as that is Piastri going past Tsunoda. I'm going past my teammate Fernando Alonso round the outside the hairpin. Lovely little move. It's unorthodox to make an overtake round the outside. It's usually the inside that corner, but using the traction there that the player has. Down the inside, side by side for 130R meanwhile, are Hamilton and Behrman, and Behrman is ahead. And now it's time to get past the slot as well. Behrman and Hamilton quickly as possible round the outside here as well, using a bit of overtake like ERS to get in front of Behrman. Behrman has another go though through 130R. They have OP traction from Spoon down to 130R, defending the inside here as well. I had to try and cut across, not too much on them. I did try and leave as much space as possible. Next up is Albon as well, and yeah, I mean he's missing his front end plate, but he's doing really well to keep everyone behind. But now I'm up to P5. I started this P16 and made 9 positions in 5 laps, but Albon isn't going to give up on this. Yes, he might be a little bit slow through the corners, but I mean, so am I. And he's got a great move with DRS. I cannot stop that as well. I'm going to now have to make the same move again at the traction of the hairpin. Look at this. No. Not able to get the traction there against Albon. I have to wait now to get DRS down the start-finish straight. This is the first time I've made a move down the start-finish straight in the race. We're back up to P5. Racing my old teammate at Honda's Grand Prix as well. But as we move, yeah, here's a replay of this manoeuvre. Then it is a textbook manoeuvre with DRS. Obviously, there's only the one DRS zone. Takes the racing line. Thank you very much. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a spinala for Lance Stroll. Stroll has spinaled his racing ball and has blocked his teammate. And all the reversing and ghosting, that, ladies and gentlemen, will trigger the safety car to come out. So, 2 races in a row we've had the safety car. I'm not complaining. It does mean though it's a bit risky. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to move on to set sauce. I could have gone to hards, but
cannot be serious.
Of course, it's a slow stop, and that's going to put me once again behind Albon. What I was saying is, I've moved to the soft tyres. We're going to have a couple of laps behind the safety car. I will try and take care of them as much as possible, and then we'll have 9 laps to the end. Fingers crossed the softs last that long. up at the front, then you can see there it's Norris leads then from Sainz, Piastri and Tsunoda as well. The safety cars come in the end of lap number 9, so not too much, only 2%, make that 3% now on the rear left as well. The rears, of course, going to be heavily affected by this. Can I get the move on Albon? They seem to have learnt, the AI have learnt, obviously made that move on Russell in Australia, but unable to get the move on Albon as well. But however, there will be a move down at the back for the wooden spoon between the dustbin that is the Alpine and the 2 racing bulls as well, battling for the wooden spoon as I'm all over the back of Albon. Has that front wing damage got worse for him? He's very slow out that corner and using a little bit of overtake in front before the corner, which is very unusual to get the move done. I mean, it's not even at that corner, it's the corner before really that the overtake is done as well. And Albon, sadly for him, might go backwards, as that is Piastri having a go at Sainz. That's Piastri ahead to make it a McLaren 1-2 as well. But Sainz is not going to keep this going. Obviously, he's had that year away, didn't exactly have the greatest Australian Grand Prix, but is on set for a first podium for his new Red Bull team. Meanwhile, as I predicted, Albon, I've been able to drop Albon. Yeah, that front, I don't know what air damage he's got, but he's definitely going backwards. Hamilton is now in front. I've been able, meanwhile back to me, been able to keep up with Tsunoda. Tsunoda's lost DRS, so that signs that there is some pace in this car as well. But Tsunoda will eventually drop me, and he'll catch up to his teammate. Obviously, he'll have massive local support edging him on in this thing, but he can't quite make that move on this teammate to get a first Japanese podium here at their home race since Kamui Kobayashi as well. And that is Russell overtaken Behrman, both of which have overtaken Albon, by the way, as well. Jack to 9 POV in lap 17, you can see my tyres are really going off. Hamilton's all over the back of me, he's much faster Ferrari now as well. And that is Colapinto now overtaking Albon they really should have replaced that front wing, because he's had the pace today, to be up here in P5, but he's now probably going to finish out of the points as well. I'm using all the ERS to block Hamilton there, and Hamilton unable to get past. I've saved the ERS for sector 1. Hamilton I'm going to go around the inside of 130R as well, but I'm going to take the outside and keep that position as well. This was a bit precarious, they have so much OP traction out of Spoon as well, but then obviously he took the inside there. But this isn't over. I've now we move on to the final lap now. I'm going to dump everything as well. I'm going to keep to the racing line, try and squeeze Hamilton to the inside, but Hamilton has done me. That the inside. Fair play to Lewis Hamilton there as well. Meanwhile, further behind, it's time to put Albon out of his misery with an engine failure. He's fallen out the points, and I'm afraid for him that's no points for Albon there. I'm a little bit disappointed that I couldn't keep Hamilton behind, but the tyre wear was just insane. You can see there 51% on the rear. Maybe the hards was the better strategy, I don't know, but would they have performed as well? But it is nevertheless 6th place. I can't argue with that. It's more great points, and considering the fact I started P16, I will definitely take that. If you told me after qualifying that are you going to finish P6, I would have taken that. The pace as well, 32.5, not quite on the leaders, but compared to everyone else, it's not too bad. Bearing in mind, it's not like there's a massive train behind me as well. So yes, but obviously P6, Alonso, no points again for my teammate. That's a little bit just alarming that he's not been able to get points in the same car. And Gasly's picked up a point in this dustbin as well. So in terms of the constructors, with P4, both drivers and the constructors, obviously I'm the only one that scored. McLaren all the way out in front, as is Norris really in the championship, having won both races so far. So Saudi Arabia, I'll be recording that this weekend. then, so yes, that episode will be out next week sometime. After that, I will be there'll probably be might be a little bit of a break or not as well between Saudi Arabia and Imola, just to give you the heads up there. Fingers crossed there shouldn't be any break at all, but there may be. I'm just going to give you a heads up. But yes, so but obviously, Imola will start the European portion of the season, obviously with Canada in the middle still. But yes, that's when I leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F125 driver career mode videos and other F125 gameplay, such as fantasy liveries, game experiments. Just did a fantasy livery video on Monday as well, so you go and check that out if you haven't seen that one already. But until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.